welcome to Talking About Stuff with Tony B, or like we like to call it TBS TB. And yep, you got it right, I'm Tony B. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about BIA stuff, and that seems highly appropriate for a number of reasons, one of which is the fact that it's the 50th anniversary in 2020, and so this particular subject kind of relates to that in a way. We titled the episode, What's in a Name? Searching for a Simple, Generic Way to Describe BIAs and the like. For those of you who are in the movement, have likely had this challenge. Like, you say you work with a BIA and people go, yeah, what is that? And often, we can be a little bit hard-pressed to describe what it is. In addition to which is the fact that BIA is not the only way to describe this kind of entity. We have DIAs as downtown improvement areas, BIAs, business improvement areas, BIDs in the states, primarily business improvement districts. There's BIZ. There's all kinds of different ways of describing it. So the intent here is to determine if there is a way to establish kind of a generic term that describes all of them, and ideally something with an acronym. So we'll see if we can get there. So the first step in this little exploration is we should probably have a working definition of what is a BIA. So we looked around at a few different descriptions on various websites and the like, and then sort of crafted one of our own, which because we wanted to make it as succinct and as succinct as possible for our purposes here. So this is what I've got in terms of a definition. What is a BIA? A business improvement area, or BIA, is a self-governing legal entity comprised of all the business operators and commercial property owners within a defined geographic area, created and overseen by the local municipal government, given the ability to raise funds through a self-determined levy that is collected and administered by the municipality, with the mandate to undertake projects and ongoing initiatives that will make the area more conducive to business. I think that covers all the bases. Doesn't what kind of things can you do to make the area more conducive to business? That's a whole other subject. But there's the description, and it will be in the notes below. So, but you can't go around and you might be able to commit that to memory, and you might want to make modifications to it or whatever. But we want to find a way to say that in a much more succinct manner. So, looking at some of the important considerations in that description. One of them is that it is a legal entity, that it involves people in commercial undertakings, commercial enterprises, let's say business. It is in a geographically defined area, and that the municipality sort of creates and oversees and helps administer the whole thing. So there's an element of public-private partnership, or P3 as it's sometimes known. But it is a very distinct and unique kind of P3. Just calling it a P3 doesn't really give it, clarified it enough. But that's because there's all kinds of other P3s. So, having said that, played around with a few words, using the word organization as an example, like the word business. Geographically defined is one of the most important elements of this whole thing, and part of what is missing in these other existing terms like business improvement area loses sight of that aspect of it. It's called an area, but that it doesn't really fully capture what a BIA is. And the operative term that a lot of people have fed back to me, and that is the term neighborhood. And that whatever we do, we should incorporate that term into it, because it really makes it understandable and friendly, and describes just the word neighborhood says it doesn't say it all, but it says says a lot of it. And then the other consideration is that the municipal aspect of it. So I'm proposing the following term. It is a municipally sanctioned neighborhood business organization, or MSNBO. It's a little bit of a mouthful in terms of the acronym, but we've gotten used to saying MSNBC, so saying MSNBO is shouldn't be that difficult. Or we could just shorten it to NBO, a neighborhood business organization. You can change organization to association if you feel so inclined. So that's what I'm putting out there for your consideration and comment. Do with it as you see fit, and look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on that. So, municipally sanctioned neighborhood business organization, MSNBO, or just plain old NBO. Now, one of the other considerations here is to establish a visual device that describes what an MSNBO is, or what an NBO is. And there's a couple of ideas here, borrowing, and I'll be giving some hat tips at the end of this talk, but one of the ideas suggested was, and it seems obvious, particularly with the neighborhood thing, is the heart. The heart is a symbol of, the BIA is at the heart of the neighborhood, the heart of the community, all that kind of thing, and it lends itself well. The other dimension would be the pin drop, because of the geographic dimension of it. So you drop, you have the pin drop with a heart, or you create a heart from, put 3 pin drops together and create a heart. And I think Obeah did that for one of their conferences. So that's one of the ideas. Play around with the heart, play around with the pin drop. The other thought for your consideration is the asterisk. The asterisk in combination with the pin drop, and that's in part because the heart, it's hard to take ownership of it because it's so used. We use the heart in so many ways, shapes, and form. So, as an alternative for consideration would be to incorporate the asterisk, just because it's a little bit different and it suggests, more information, if you will. So MSNBO asterisk, or BIA asterisk, and a pin drop with an asterisk. So there you go. That's the idea. A municipally sanctioned neighborhood business organization with a pin drop and an asterisk or a heart as the logo. Look forward to hearing your comments about all of that. And now I'd just like to finish off, if you will, first of all by giving a hat tip to Kay Matthews, the executive director of the Ontario BIA Association, or Obeah, who really planted this idea. So I'm following up on it, Kay. So do with it as you will. So once again, hat tip to Kay, and particularly the heart thing. That's really that's also from her. And one other thing, a parting shot. Just a little. We've covered the subject now. Little something apropos. And that is that, to a certain extent, this discussion has been about acronyms. We use acronyms all the time. It makes our communication more efficient. And I happen to have a favorite that I thought I would share with you, and that is TLA. My absolute favorite acronym is TLA, which is a 3-letter acronym for 3-letter acronym. You gotta love it. So, thank you, and thanks for listening. Remember to like and subscribe and comment in the field below. This has been TBSTB, or Talking About Stuff with Tony B. And I'm Tony B, signing off, and see you later.